Fucking Timmy. Typical Timmy gameplay. What's caused the shifts? Just a constant lack of fucking failures. Simple as that, really. They constantly make the game simpler in any way that they possibly can. Very bad, in my opinion. They have bad balance. I should say bad balance, but like, they don't have actual meta shifts. So what happens is you get these fucking stretches like this where like ADCs are really strong, for example, and then they do these like 5-point changes instead of like actual changes. So then shit takes like an incredible amount of time before it actually is like changed. And that's really frustrating. And then they just do like, okay, I'm just getting ganked level 2. You got me, man. Congratulations, Bears, anyways. And they do like constant shit like fucking dog shit rank design where they're like, yeah, this is a really good design. And then they have the worst design imaginable in terms of actual like release. And they don't take any feedback from anybody. Me or anybody else. It's fucking annoying. And they'll actively tell you that they're not going to take your feedback because they consulted industry experts in Paragon devs. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. They take feedback from Paragon devs? Yeah, my bad. That might be their problem. God, they even want their devs to be Paragon devs. Crazy. Although that might be an improvement. Wouldn't have to wait 6 weeks for a new character. Enjoying the game more than League at the moment. If that changes, you go elsewhere. Yeah, but is that because like the game is newer to you, or is that because you actually think the game is better than League? Like, are you playing the game because you want to break from League, or are you playing the game because you think the game is better than League? Right. You would take advice from people that failed before. I mean, failure can give you a lot of insight. You learn from failing. That's not even really like the biggest problem there. It is hilarious though that they were like, yeah, we're gonna get information on our ranked mode from people that didn't have a ranked mode in their game in the first place. That was crazy. But like, failure can give you a lot of insight. Little both hard to compare a new game to an old one. Yeah, I mean, old flaws are old flaws, right? But at least League like changes and shit. It's not just the same fucking game it was. What advice can you hear from someone who has not experienced it? No, I agree. But they use that excuse like a lot. Like, we consulted Paragon devs or something like that. Or we consulted data from other games. Yeah, what other games? Etc. MOBA is almost nothing in terms of competition. Guarantee a big studio makes a 3D action MOBA and they'll pop off. I would agree. But I think, like, you could have a good game. Like, Pred when it came out, not in a good state. Pred now, much better state than it was when it came out, but still not a good state. Because if it was, then you would be talking about it, right? Like, that's just it, right? Like, you'd be telling your friends to play it, your friends would want to play it, etc. And releasing a data report, no numbers. Yeah, that shit was crazy, I'm gonna be honest. But here's the data, and then they just listed 0 numbers and all just like things that they were quote unquote looking at with 0 numbers.
How does that feel?
Your friends don't play MOBAs. Yeah, but if you were like, this game's really good, they would try it at least, surely. They might not stick with it, but like, they would at least try it, no?
Your destruction is nigh. A taste of the stars.
They would not. Fair enough.
The stars fall.
But I guess that's good. Do you come from a group of friends that don't play MOBAs at all, like in general, ever? Gotten 5 friends on it, and you play pretty regularly. Or they played other MOBAs. Anybody that I've ever gotten to play the game that has played a different MOBA will play this game for like a week, and then they will stop playing it. And that's at most. Usually they play like 2-3 days. Sometimes they'll play like a week, week and a half. And they just stop playing because there's no point. There's no reason. There's no grind. There's no grind. There's no reason in the, like, there's no like gap in skill really. In terms of like, you can establish yourself as a better player than somebody else.
Your destruction is nigh.
What does top down mean? Top down means you look from a bird's eye view. So like League is top down because you're looking from above the battlefield as opposed to like a third person perspective. Which is what Pred is, third person.
I sense it. The black hole.
Fuck. Missing my combo is pretty bad there. I will probably not kill this guy now. I did trade it at least. Like an RTS game, also top down. Top down also referred to as isometric, yes. They put on average probably about 2 weeks. Yeah, but I feel like people will give it a genuine shot, but it's just like the game doesn't have any retention really. No reason for people to continue to play. Played 1 game of Dota 2 and uninstalled it. I mean, Dota's got a lot going on. Smite is the GOAT third-person MOBA. I mean, I don't know if I would say that. Smite has a lot of issues. But what's annoying is Smite is going in the direction of Pred, where they're trying to be League, and that's fucking annoying too. Smite's dying. Yeah, Smite killed themselves. They said, here's Smite 2. That shit ain't even close to ready. I would be surprised if they pulled devs off Smite 2 to work on Smite 1 to keep people interested in Smite 1, to be honest with you. Because that's how far away Smite 2 is. Brother, I'm actually just shit.
Your destruction is nigh. The stars shall return.
I just in a full in a low because Smite 2 announcement, and their recent revert patch is awful. I mean, regardless of that patch, I just think people are uninterested in Smite because of Smite 2.
I'm ready to open the black hole.
Take so much from Smite 2 and it failed miserably. I just think it's too early. Like, they did it way too early. There's a foundation to all this madness, so naturally it's the most complex. I mean, I think complexity is a good thing. I think you play a MOBA to be intellectually challenged.
How does that feel?
High-res really high-res their cash cow. They actually did. Like, people were talking about how it's amazing that they didn't kill Smite earlier. Right, they've been saying that for years because they kill all of their fucking games. And I guess, you know, every now and then you know, clock's right twice a day or some shit like that, right? Like, even if it's broken. They finally managed to kill Smite, I think. Like, it's crazy that that trade is even remotely close, ever.
A taste of the stars.
He took my full ultimate. I hit literally every ability. And that's still, like, semi-close. Like, if my Sev didn't show up, there's a chance that I could possibly lose that. Actually insane.
The stars shall return.
Hot should have been a third-person MOBA. Honestly, it probably would have slapped.
Await my return.
Big Terra ultimate. Good old high res. I mean, we'll see if they can manage to keep it safe.
I will push on.
But I reckon they announced it so early because of Pred. Brother, if you think Pred ever threatened Smite, you're crazy. I think they truly just misunderstood their ability to develop Smite 2 due to how good they are at developing Smite 1. Like, they're quick with Smite 1. Like, they get shit done in Smite 1 because they've been doing it for such a long time. I think they overestimated their ability to get Smite 2 done. For one reason or another.
I will only be a moment.
I still think it's hilarious that fucking the CEO of Hi-Rez, fucking Stu, was tweeting about Deadlock, talking about their like poaching streamers and shit. That shit was so funny. Like Smite was even a threat in that regard. That shit was so funny.
I'll crush you.
Game devs overestimating their ability, shocker. I don't even know if that's like the case. It's just like they had 4 people working on the game for like a year and nobody else, and then they swapped, and I assume they added more devs to the team as they were getting closer to it, and they just like assumed everybody maybe was at the speed of the 4 devs that were on it originally, which like the more people you add can sometimes make things take longer because you have to get more like communication and all that kind of stuff. So I assume it was something like that. Crazy, an unannounced game has so much hype. You know why that is, Fox? You know why that is? Because the game is good, and when the game is good, you tell people that the game is good, and then people get interested in trying it because they want to see if the game is good. You know, it's a very similar game to that. Lethal Company was a very similar game to that. Very low-key, like, under-the-radar game. People enjoyed it. What did they do? They started telling their friends.
This time we'll destroy it.
Then they started playing with their friends. That's just how any good game is. Is there any time frame for Valve's game? No idea. It's all just like NDA stuff, so nobody even really knows. There's not really any information out there.
I'll crush you. A taste of the stars.
No river? What's the point? Looking forward to the Dune MMO. I feel like that game's gonna be a failure for some reason. I feel like any game based off of like a book series or movie is probably like in that regard, like a AAA movie, right? Like Dune. I feel like has to be a cash grab, man. There's no way it's not. There's no way that's not a cash grab. I just refuse to believe it. I'll be happy to be proven wrong when it comes out, but there's no way it's not. What's with people thinking Pred is God's gift to man? What are you talking about? Creed. What?
Your destruction is nigh. The rift opens.
Movie Titan stuff, typically ass. Yeah, I have zero faith in it. We'll see. Maybe I'm proven wrong, you know, maybe it is actually good, but we'll see. That's one of those ones that if like I would never pre-order a game like that ever.
A taste of the stars.
Just asking to be disappointed. Including the Lord of the Rings stuff. I mean, there's like maybe one good Lord of the Rings game, maybe 2, that I can think of off the top of my head. There's a PS2 game that was really good, and then the what it was when it came out when Xbox One came out. That's Lord of the Rings too, right? Shadow of Mordor? Yeah, that one. Those are like the only two good ones I can think of. I heard their card game was alright too, but I haven't tried it. You hated Shadow of Mordor, felt like a hollow Arcdoom game. And to each their own. I've only ever heard really good things about it. The next Lord of the Rings game could be really solid. I'll believe it when I see it. Longest back I've ever seen. This guy does 0 damage. Did he go like Infernum or something? No? He's just that far behind. You think he's typing? I think he's typing over there on that team.
The stars fall.
I'm gonna be honest, I thought I already ulted. Brother, we're both dog shit. The Harry Potter game was good. Was it actually good though?
I will push on.
I don't know anybody that played it longer than a week. I heard it was... That could have been, though, because I heard it was, like, really ass performance-wise. Extremely underwhelming. Yeah. It was boring and bare bones. That's what seemed to be, like, most of the people that I know that bought it had kind of, like, the similar opinion. But I also, like, I don't know. I didn't play it myself. I just heard it was really bad on the performance for a lot of my friends. Like, they were lucky to get, like, 60 frames, even.
I sense it. The black hole. The rift opens. Your destruction is nigh.
This is awkward, because me and this guy, we're both back in, bro. You guys have fun. We got shit to do. Had a lot of fun with it, but you think you finish everything 100% in like a month? I mean, that's not too bad for a single player game, to be fair.
How does that feel? An enemy tower is under attack. A taste of the stars. Your destruction is nigh. The black hole.
Love watching me play Gideon. I just be Gideoning it up. Typing Timmy is not having a good time. He should type more. That sure reminds me when Grady was walking around with Samuel Sprinter as his name. Okay. Anyways, back to base with you. The only thing is it was kind of repetitive and boring towards the end. Played for like a month and a half and never loaded it up again. Yeah, but this is not like every single player game though. Like even games like Elden Ring, like you start seeing the same enemies over and over again and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. That's my biggest problem with single player games, so I don't like buying them. I don't like games that don't have replayability. Because it means you get a limited amount of time with them. Which I am not a fan of. And then you go, well, you can just replay it again. It's just not the same. You have 1,000 hours of Elden Ring and you're still not bored of it? Brother, what the fuck?
An enemy tower is
I
under
sense
attack.
it. Black hole. Your destruction is nigh. I will only be
No knockup?
How does that feel?
That guy's fast as fuck.
The stars shall return.
Dark Souls 3 is more fun to you than Elden Ring. I would also say Dark Souls 3 is probably more fun than Elden Ring.
Push on.
In the sense that, like, if I was to play it again, I would probably have more fun playing Dark Souls 3 than Elden Ring. What's up, Grady? You have played through a Final Fantasy VII every year since 1997. What's wrong with you?
A taste of the stars.
That's really annoying. I didn't get where I wanted to be, and then he can dash out because of that. That's really annoying. My flash clipped the wall. Oh, fuck me.
How does that feel?
Fucking Timmy. Typical Timmy gameplay.
Await my return.
Definitely single player games you can play over and over again and not be bored. I mean, sure, you could name like an infinite amount of roguelites, for example. If you count those. Took a double look at him and said you're a bot. Well, I assumed he would just one me, but he instead 3'd me and then tried to ult me like a literal bot.
Ready to open the black hole.
Shut up ETG again? What is that? Any Risk of Rain 2 enjoyers? I know Grady plays that shit. I have not played it like that. Oh, Enter the Gungeon. Dude, what a goated game that is, man. Goated game.
The stars fall.
The Elder Scrolls games, yeah, you're probably the type to like, the game is so replayability is insane. And then you install 16 titty mods and you're like, yeah, I'm really enjoying the game. I really like playing this playthrough. This time we have big titties, fat asses on, instead of just big titties. Like, come on. It's a completely different game. Conversation did you join into? Talk about how single player games don't have as much replayability as other games, which makes them a limited amount of time sink, because you only get the limited amount of time that the game is available. Like the first few times that you play through it, basically, the only times that you really get to experience the game. Is that wrong? It's a different game. It is a different game. That's a conversation we were having, Crashy.
Your destruction is nigh.
This guy's got Thomas the Tank Engine fucking as his dragons. It's a completely new game. This is also thing that makes you play single player games. I mean, in some ways. But they're just an addition to the game. It's not really a new game. Game feels so good now. This guy got the VR version installed. VR version, titty mods. It's got the whole 9 yards. Pretty much just a different experience. You wouldn't worry too much about replayability. Well, yeah, see, but the thing is that you're paying for it. So, like, I'm not the type to pay for stuff like that. Personally. That's all. Like, I don't like buying single-player games because I think that not having replayability as a game lowers the value, personally. Because there's plenty of really good multiplayer games that have fantastic, like, lore, stories, stuff like that involved with them. But they still have the ability to be replayed. Or fantastic games that are replayability, like roguelites, for example, that have fantastic story and stuff like that. You have 7K hours in CS, that's rookie numbers. Less interested you are in competitive multiplayer games. I mean, personal opinion. I don't think I would ever stop being interested in multiplayer games. I'd probably be worse at them, sure. Like, you know, you fall off after a certain point, but like, at the end of the day, I'm a competitive person, and like, I don't really care that. Like, if I want a story, I'll just watch a fucking movie or some shit like that. If you get in that game and start grinding, you'll never leave. I mean, that's any game that has like an actual reason to play it. That's what I wish Pred had, a reason to play it, a reason to grind it. Imagine Pred had a reason to put 7,000 hours in the game. Crusher, what are you even doing here, man? Didn't you quit Pred for like 12th time already? Come on. Can they have a one multiplayer game with a fantastic story unless they have a dedicated single player mode? League of Legends. It is 19 months of replayability. Yeah. Well, it depends on you. Lots of pro gamers are in their 30s and shooters. True. But you have to be able to make a living off that. Like, if you're 30 and you're not making a living off games and you're playing them like a lot, like, that's kind of weird. You know what I mean? You can play competitive against the best players in the world and still not be satisfied. Sure. But I guarantee you I'm probably more satisfied playing against the best players in the world in a game that's competitive than playing a single player game most of the time. As long as the game itself is good, obviously. If the game is not good, it doesn't matter who you're playing against, the game is just not good. You're about to start playing again, been itching to MOBA some. Sure, you want at any age. It's not about enjoying what you want. It's about investing the amount of time that you would have to invest to be competitively competitive in a game. Like if you played CS:GO, you're not going to be competitively like viable at like fucking